we're just going to be looking at how you actually put together these small enlargers. So we're going to be looking at the ways you put together a 35mm setup, but also a 6.6 setup. So essentially, when you come in, all the power will be off, and the machine will have these empty holes in them. You need 3 ingredients to put it back together. First thing we should do is just turn the enlarger on. And you'll notice with the timer will come on. Okay, you know that you've got power and that you're now ready to go. So the first thing we need to do is to put in the fem box in the top here. So if you're working on 35mm film, which is the one that we'll be using almost exclusively in first year, you have to get this one here, which is the fem box. All right, 35mm film, it has the smaller kind of opening here, and at the back it kind of looks like that. Both of them look exactly the same, but with the 35mm fem box, it's got a smaller hole here. So when you're putting that in, front faces you, and it kind of goes in. There's 2 little grub screws on either side, and your fem box goes up and then back. And then you just tighten those 2 grub screws on to make sure that that's sturdy and that's in. The next thing we need is the neg carrier. So the neg carrier is where we put the negative when we're ready to print. All right. So how these works as well is that you have these different neg slides. So they kind of are attached. You push. They are actually beveled, so the bevel will go in, the bevel goes in, and then you push back, and then it locks in down the bottom. Make sure you have the 35mm neg sleeves. These are the 6.6 ones, much bigger holes for the larger format film. For 35mm, you just have that one there. These 2 little slides here should come down if you're using 35mm as well. And then that closes up. You'll notice these 2 springs on top. They slide in like that. All If you do it accidentally, you can put it in, but it's quite stiff. Alright, so make sure these springs are facing up, and then that just slides in really easily. Okay, when you're printing, you can release the neg carrier by pushing it up, and you'll hear that click. That allows you to move your neg left and right, and then you press this little button here to lock it. Okay, so that's something to do when you're practicing as well. So when you put your neg in, you can lift it to move it to the next frame, and then that locks it. The last thing you need to put in is your lens. Okay, this is our lens. Because we're doing 35mm, the best one is the actual 50mm lens. Okay, so how you know it's the 50mm is it's written on the inside of the lens here. You'll notice 50mm is just there, and we see that our apertures are here as well. So put them facing you. Now again, there's a little grub screw here, so that fits in underneath like that. You can kind of see where it kind of works, and then the grub screw tightens it in. So just make sure that that is in there secure before you kind of let go. Alright, because if you don't, then it's not secure, it'll just fall onto the thing and break. Okay, so that's how you put together that. Now you're kind of ready to go. This dial at the back moves the head up and down for size. Okay, that's what that dial there does. This dial here, because it moves this bellows, is for fine focus. So once you work out your size, with this one here, you move it up to where you want it to be, and then this one here will work out your fine focus. Okay, so that's this put together for 35mm. Now when you've finished your session, you basically just undo everything. You pull out the lens, you pull out your neg carrier, and then you pull out your pen box. Alright, then they go back into the drawer. Now, if you come in and you're doing 6.6 or medium format, it's the same 3 ingredients are needed to assemble the enlarger. They're just different because the film is bigger. Okay? So this is the fem box we use for 6.6 or 120. As you can see, that kind of space there, that diffusion is bigger, allows for the larger kind of format. But again, the front goes to front, you push that in and you push it back. And we tighten that up with those little grub screws. Now, because the person before you was shooting 35mm, 35mm inserts are in here. So these are the things we need to remove. So, as I said before, you push in, you pull it out, and you push it out like that. You grab the 6.6 inserts that are again beveled. So there's a little kind of a bevel here going all the way around. So that fits in there like that. You push it in and locks it into place. Again, we do the other side, the bevel, it sits in there like that. You push it in, locks it into place. Make sure these are pushed back, okay? Because that's where our film sits. It sits a lot further back. So that goes into there like that. And then we get the 75mm lens. And again, we can tell the 75mm because it's written just there. We put the apertures facing us so we can see it in the dark. Tighten it up. Okay, so that's your enlarger put together for both 6.6 and 35mm. Okay, it's just those 3 things: fem box, neg carrier, lens, and just make sure you're using the right one for the right format. Okay.